back to another episode of Feannags Favourites. This episode will be focusing on the band Forlorn. Now, I wanted to get this video out around the time of their actual album release, however a few things did come up unfortunately. And, well, better late than never I guess. The band is based on the concept of focusing their songs and album art, which is fantastic and you should have a look at it. It's by Mitchell Nolte, I think the name is if I recall, but I'm sure I can provide a link or something in the description. The band is based around the Napoleonic Wars. The album itself is actually based on the Peninsular Wars, which happened in the early 1800s. This was around the time of Napoleon, to make it a simpler term, where the alliance between the British, the Spanish and the Portuguese were fighting in Spain to repel the French and allies, and obviously Napoleon. So as you can see, I am in my garb for the occasion. Some will probably say if you're wearing a trike on the 1800s, you're horribly out of fashion. I will say it's the end of the Georgian period, so fuck you. Anyway, it's partly correct. And some divisions even wore tricons up to World War I. The band is from Merseyside in Liverpool, and they, if I recall, it's a 5-piece band. It's a standard drums, singer, guitarist, bassist, and a keyboardist. So what I love about the band is that they take into consideration it's not just about glory within their lyrics. It's clearly well researched and takes into consideration massacres, heroic deeds, individuals, and the morales, and a very good descriptions of the battles themselves. Some of the battles that are featured in by title are actually in chronological order of the battles that took place in the Peninsular War as well. For example, when in one of the songs, I think it's the 95th Rifles, which is a very famous skirmisher, sharpshooter regiment, and they were known for wearing their green jackets, which was, I think if I recall, did become a nickname for them, known as the Green Jackets. Another influence for the music comes heavily from the BBC series Sharp, which is based on the novels. The other thing to think is they'd use quotations. So as I said, it is very well researched. It's as it used in going back to that, the 95th Rifles in that song is called The Scum of the Earth, which is something that the Duke of Wellington actually said about his men. Now you may think that calling them the scum of the earth would be a terrible thing to say, but it was kind of said in a way of saying it in a admiration of them, because he got these people, these common people, and made them into a fighting force, and they were fiercely loyal to him. You would describe some generals at the time as willing to throw their men into the fray, not caring about the losses, whereas the Duke of Wellington was known for caring about his men. He was a stern general and he demanded respect, but he also loved his men. He is known after the siege of, I think it was Badajoz, I can't pronounce it. After the siege of Badajoz, he was known to see the piles of men along the walls, the piles of redcoats along the walls, and openly wept. I think that's the only time anyone ever saw him do that. They also cover in the intro an instrumental version of Over the Hills and Far Away, which I'll go back to a little bit more in a moment. They cover Over the Hills and Far Away, and also it's the last track with lyrics. I recall that they actually got permission from the composer to write this, to cover this song, as it was owned by the composer and not the BBC. I'm surprised they got permission to do that, to be honest with you. But there is a bit of a clause with that, I assume, because it's still used in military songs to this day. It's still used in military bands to this day in the UK. Whereas the song itself is actually a lot older. I think it comes from about the 1700s. I mean, the lyrics have changed over time to reflect a more military stance, as opposed to the folk song version of it. So just another thing to say with that. So just in case you thought it was a Nightwish song, it's actually not. It's a lot older. And if I recall, the composer was actually, I recognised him when I saw the picture. I swear he was an actual actor in Sharp as well. So you can see that this band has gone way out of their way in their research, in the concepts, in the album art itself, which is based on paintings of the time. By which I mean the painting style, not an actual painting itself, as far as I'm aware, and the quotations, as I've mentioned before. If you wanted to say the genre of the band, I would say that they are the British Sabaton, really, with probably a huge influence from Iron Maiden, but I don't want to guess their influences personally. But if you wanted me to describe it in a nutshell, I would say that they are basically a mix of Sabaton and Iron Maiden. The British Sabaton, shall we say. To put it into be specific, I would say it's new wave British heavy metal with power metal. As we at the House of Wyvern have a look at history and sometimes look to dress us, you can see at the time certain periods. She would also like Queen of Dragons would like to say something on this. So she's usually not in these series, but she really wanted to say something on this. So,
to be honest, band Forlorn Hope was a new discovery for me, thanks to Feannags, because I'm a metal DJ myself, and he loves. My most favorite music out of all type of music is epic sounding metal. So yeah, he introduced Forlorn Hope to me. We put it on Spotify because we're allowed Spotify in our office, and actually I really like them. My most favorite tracks would be Master Strike and Man of Secret, Man of Honor, and well, it's not very metal sounding, but also Over the Hills and Far Away, because apparently, according to Feannags, it's one of the closest versions to the original song, which was sung by folk back in the day. So yeah, I definitely recommend this band, and I will be putting on the tracks next time I'm DJing.
I would, as I said, I absolutely adore this band for how far they've got into this, as I'm a massive history nerd myself. I actually, if anyone would want to see it, I would be happy to do a breakdown of the lyrics in their historical meanings, kind of like how they have done it for Sabaton on, I think, another YouTube channel. I think they did it on History of World War One. I think they did one for that. I've not been on that channel either way. There's a channel dedicated to doing that. So for this album, if anyone actually has interest, if anyone shows interest, I would love to actually break down the lyrics and explain their meanings and the impact of those battles, and the songs regarding certain individuals as well. Anyway, we've done a lot of explaining, so let's get to the music, shall we?
See them array who have come to this place. The challenge is written on every face. High on his horse, the general stands tall. He's safe at his range, there's no danger at all. Crack sounds the shout, the bright spray of blood.
I hope you guys enjoyed all of that. We will have links in the description, and remember to subscribe to their channel. That will be placed on the end screen and also in the description, obviously. And remember to give a like, comment, and a subscribe. See you later.
Bayonet charge, driven back hard. Firefight raging, no side can advance. Artillery comes, let murder